What is up, Culture Drop? This video is my response to some of the comments that exist in the world about Gen Z and like they're lazy and they have no work ethic and they do all these kinds of things. And it's about setting expectations. I think there are a lot of uses to this conversation and there's a lot of context where this makes sense, but whenever I see comments or hear comments or people sort of chatting about Gen Z and younger work employees not having work ethic and not wanting to work and all that stuff, it's the first thing that immediately pops in my brain is your ability as a leader, as a business, to set expectations from the outset, which is something I think a lot of leaders and organizations are bad at doing. This is what I think happens in a lot of like people getting a new job or even starting a project or whatever, is that we just like start the project and behind we are aware of how people should act and how we expect them to act and how we think that they should act in like these different scenarios, whether that is throughout a project or as an employee of an organization. And so what happens is then when that gets off track or someone doesn't show up the way that we think that they should, right? For example, a younger employee having like a different work ethic than we think that they should, then we're addressing the problem. Then we're giving them feedback and saying, hey, you're showing up this way, it doesn't work, it's not good for us. As a leader, as an organization, the more proactive, more effective way to deal with that is that when you hire somebody or at the outset of a project, you clearly set the expectation for that person right off the bat. And I think that if organizations were better at this, they would have less issues with all of these challenges that they're seeing because they're just approaching it and like, this is how we think people should show up. And when they don't, we complain about it and we address this problem. But if I'm hiring somebody and from day one, I can very clearly explain to them, this is what I'm gonna expect from you. You're gonna work your ass off. It's gonna look like this. This is the production I wanna see out of you. This is what I expect. All of these kind of parameters. And if all these things are happening, then that's great. And that can include how often I'm gonna give and receive feedback from you, how often we're gonna check in and communicate, right? I'm saying from the get-go, these are my expectations of you. And it's okay if those are high. Don't downplay what you expect out of people in order to convince them to hire for you, right? To come and work for you. If I have the philosophy as an organization, as a team, is that you are going to bust your ass in this job, right? It's high bar, high reward. If that's my philosophy, is like, I want you to produce, kick ass, work really hard, right? And like get your stuff done. And as long as those conditions are being met, right? On my end, I will take care of you. We have a great culture. I'm a great boss. I'm gonna pay you really well. But these are the expectations that I have for you of how you need to show up. If that is true, like say that. And I think it's a really powerful place to come from as a leader or as an organization to be like, we are going to ask a lot of you. This is not the kind of job where you can be mediocre, show up half of the time, not do very good work, not pay attention to detail, right? Whatever it is, to be like, if those things take place here, you're not gonna be successful. These are really important to us. This is what we wanna see from you. Because when you set that expectation from day one, then it's not happening. It's so much easier to have accountability conversations or coach that person to be like, hey, right, here's this clearly expressed thing that we already talked about, as opposed to, you're not showing up the way that I think you should, and now I'm giving you feedback about this and getting pushback. Right from the get-go, express very clearly your expectations for somebody. That if leaders and teams are better at doing that, they would have less challenges with employees that are coming in and not up to snuff, whatever that means for you. Clearly express that to someone from day one. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel, or you can sign up for the Culture Drop mailing list and get these emails and videos right into your inbox.